Hello YouTube, this is Dr. Drake 63. Today I'm going to do a tabletop review of the Romanian SAR-1 AK-47, chambered in 7.62 by 39. This is a gun that is no longer made. These were imported up until about 2003. This particular model is a 2003 version, and I picked this up recently, a couple weeks ago, for 500 bucks. And from what I can tell and what my friends on various posts and forums have told me, that's one heck of a good deal. When you look at this particular firearm, taking a close look at it, you'll see it's got some dings. It's not too bad. It's paint over parkerization. But what's nice is with this is you're getting a chrome line barrel. Kind of see the wood there. You're also getting a double stack receiver. This is not milled out when it gets to the United States. In other words, when you buy a washer, it is not a double stack receiver. It is a single stack sporter model that has been hogged out and widened, whereas this right here always was designed to be an AKM, not a sporter. So these are rare. You can't get them anymore. I suspect that what you're going to find is that these are going to go up in value. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about it in a minute. Just wanted to give you a look. Here's the trusty SLR 104 in the background. Maybe a little bit more of the higher end. We'll do some comparison, and hopefully my dog will be done doing whatever she's doing. The SAR-1. As you can see, this particular model is a 2003 manufacture. You can also see that this does not have a threaded barrel. This came in during the Clinton assault weapons ban. It's not supposed to have a lug here for a bayonet. You can kind of see this one has been ground off. Okay. Now, outside of that, everything else about this particular firearm is an AKM. In other words, this is a military configuration that you just aren't going to get on a washer. Some say better fit and finish. I don't know. You can tell me. The rivets look good. It's got those X and Y patterns. The only thing that's different about this in full auto is a pin. And that's it. So some say that this is the most mil-spec AK that you can get. Now we're going to have to listen to my neighbor's dog. So as you can see, starting with the buttstock, it's got the nice place to put your tool kit, your cleaning kit. Actually that's a Russian web there. But the grip and the furniture are all original. When people talk about matching numbers on a rifle, an AK, an SKS, you hear that a lot. What does that actually mean? Well, in the case of this particular AK, here's what it does mean. It means that this serial number that you see here is the exact same as the serial number that you'd see here, and it's the same as the serial number that you see here, and it's the same as the serial number that you'd see here on the gas tube, and it's the same as the serial number that you'd see here on the receiver block where the barrel comes in, and it's the same number that you will see the last part of on this selector switch as well. So when we talk about matching numbers on this particular rifle, they all match. So I've got a factory bolt group, a factory gas tube, factory dust cover, you know, all that good stuff. What does that mean? I don't know. If it's a bad day, then all those numbers matching can mean that the rifle's a complete piece of crap. But that has not been our experience at the range so far. Talk about that in a minute. One thing that's common on these rifles is something called trigger slap. I'm going to address that for a minute. What is trigger slap? Right here, you see the trigger, obviously. And this is the bolt. When the bolt rides across this trigger, you see how it almost has to push it down about 1/8 of an inch to travel over smoothly. In other words, it doesn't. It comes into contact, which means on the way back, after you fire your round and it's put another round in the chamber, you're going to feel that because it's part of the trigger. And that's what's meant by trigger slap. So in this particular case, I either need to replace this trigger, or if you look real close right here, you will see this ridge. It's about 1/8 inch right here that needs to be polished off. Now, this gun has hardly been fired. You look at, even though it's a 93, if you want to look at this tail right here, this is ridiculous. It has next to no markings on it. So this gun has not been fired much. So I've got some hope that the trigger slap is going to even out. As of today, I've got about 200, 250 rounds through this. It's a very accurate firearm, by the way. Very accurate. You can see an example of this finish. Real good example here just by looking at the front sight. You can see how it's not bubbled, but what it is this was crudely Parkerized and then painted over. And it's not the best looking finish. You can see when it does chip off, you know, you've got black and shiny black and satin black, if you will, whatever kind of paint that is, and then it's over the Parkerized. So over time, as this thing gets weathered, probably going to want to repaint it. Now, looking at this barrel, the first thing anybody wants to do is they want to make it look like the most modern AKM that you can, and let's thread that barrel. And what would I put on here? Well, I'm going to keep this in a classic AK-47 look, or AKM look, I should say, which means I'm not interested in putting a lot of muzzle attachments or things like that on it. What would probably make the most sense on this would either be a slant break or a muzzle nut. Because I'm a little bit concerned about the amount of material right here, to thread that and find standard stuff that fits without getting too crazy. And also because I think the value of this gun as is going to retain itself a lot better if I don't start beating it up. Probably not going to do anything to it. We'll see. But I don't have muzzle rise issues with it. To each their own. Maybe this is just me. But given an opportunity to get an unmolested receiver that doesn't need to be welded, that doesn't need to be cut, that doesn't need to be rearranged, converted, and having that already attached to a nice cold hammer forged chrome line barrel, that's what we're looking for. Now here's a firearm that cost more than twice as much as that Romanian SAR. It's an Arsenal. I don't know if I can tell you that I think that this is any more reliable or any smoother. A little bit smoother because you don't have the trigger issue which needs resolved. But to be honest with you, and this is a different caliber too, same basic function. I think what you're getting for your money, above and beyond what I just showed you with that SAR, is you're getting fit and finish. It's a smoother, cleaner looking affair. You don't see the tool marks, any of that. Does it function better? Hasn't so far.